telling me Doctor Doom is out for blood for one of our beloved OG Avengers because of what he did in the Infinity Saga? Now, we all remember, right? Steve Rogers at the end of Avengers Endgame went back in time, went to return all the Infinity Stones, and stayed back. He never returned. He went to go live a life with the love of his life, Peggy Carter. Still up in the air on if they had kids or not. I'm hoping we get that explained, possibly in Avengers Doomsday. We all know that Chris Evans is rumored to return. He's in tip-top shape right now. Apparently, he was at the TIFF Awards or whatever, and, he wears this tight T-shirt, and everybody's like, oh, my God, he's in Captain America shape. Look at those arms and his chest, and he has no beard. I'm like, oh, this could be it's a possibility. He could be shooting for Avengers Doomsday. Nothing's been confirmed, though. The studio has not confirmed. Chris Evans' name has not been on the whole chair announcement. Who knows? We might get a second part towards the end of the year, but we don't know. But with this particular instance, right? My Time to Shine Hello, a reliable inside scooper, is coming out and stating that Steve Rogers is the main reason or the main motivation for Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. This is what they have to say. So, Steve going back in time to be with Peggy Carter created the Incursions that killed Doctor Doom's family. Now Doom is hunting Steve to kill him for what he did, manipulating everyone in his path to achieve it. So he's out for blood. Now this makes all the sense in the world of why they casted Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, because the emotional depth seeing these two characters, RDJ as Doom and Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America, my goodness. It is going to be an emotional roller coaster ride. Now, how could Doom be so certain that Steve Rogers was the main reason the Incursions happened that killed his family? That's what I want to know. Because there are other beings in this multiverse who literally have been created Incursions. Doctor Strange, dreamwalking, messing around with the Darkhold. That sparks up Incursions. Or a being outside of their own universe for an extended amount of time. That creates Incursions. So Doctor Strange is a big player in this. Deadpool and Wolverine. Spider-Man No Way Home. All these characters being outside of their universe for an extended period of time are ultimately creating these Incursions. So how could Doom be so certain? Now, if this turns out to be true and Doom wants Steve, does he go back in time into the main 616 universe to try to kill Steve and his family? There have been set photos of Avengers Doomsday, of that house that Peggy and Steve were at the end of Endgame. And even with some kid toys that somebody was stating. I was like, oh, this can get dark. Can you imagine this opens up of Doctor Doom killing primetime Steve along with Peggy Carter? The heartbreak. Oh my goodness. You guys, I would be bawling my eyes out. That would be holy insanity. But then it's also rumored that there are multiple variants that could show up in Doomsday for Steve Rogers. A lot of people are talking, Hydra Captain America, who's potentially working with Doctor Doom. Maybe he kills his family and manipulates him to come work for him so we can stop this. That's a strong possibility. Old man Steve, what's happening? Is he going to come out of retirement now that these Incursions are happening? We haven't seen him since Endgame. He's always been talked about. Oh, he's up in space. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody knows where he is. He's retired. He's out of the spotlight because, obviously you're Steve Rogers. You're still going to have a couple of targets on your back. Hail Hydra. I am so curious to see where they take this story. I mean, this is going to be absolutely insane. Like, I can only imagine if this turns out to be true and Doctor Doom's main motive for going after this whole multiverse war is because of Steve Rogers and what he did at the end of Avengers Endgame. Like, that is just, it's wild to me to think that. And I'm hoping that, multiple characters. I mean, we already know how, massive and ginormous this movie is. And we ultimately do not know what's happening with, this Anchor being. Is Steve an Anchor being? Was Tony an Anchor being? Is Tom Holland Spider-Man an Anchor being? They kind of explained that in Deadpool and Wolverine, but we really haven't heard anything of it. Just how important are these Anchor beings going to be, during Battle World, during Secret Wars? Like, I'm so fascinated by that. Like, this movie is going to be a juggernaut of a film. I mean, seeing Doom at the end of Fantastic Four for steps, why is he going after, Franklin Richards? We all know how extremely powerful Franklin Richards is. That now that, it's officially out and, Dr. Doom is he, that's the thing, like, is Doom from the Fantastic Four's timeline, right? Like, we still don't know. I know that they teased Latveria in Fantastic Four, but the seat was always empty. We never got to see Victor or, anyone at the head of the house. But I'm so intrigued how they're going to tie all of this together. It's just absolutely insanity to me. Make it make sense. Close out this multiverse saga in the biggest way you possibly can. An all-out brawl within, Secret Wars, a massive incursion, seeing multiple Spider-Man, multiple, variants of these beloved heroes of ours, Hydra Cap, regular Cap. Can you imagine a whole freaking scene of seeing Old Man Cap show up ready to whip some ass? I would lose it. Oh, I would be cheering and crying at the same time. But let me know you guys' honest thoughts and opinions on this report from My Time to Shine Hello, that Steve Rogers is the main reason that Dr. Doom is going after this whole multiverse because of what he did in the end of Avengers Endgame. Post your comments down below, let me know. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching SeaWorld Productions. Peace.